Hi friend, and welcome back to my crafty space. My name is Crystal, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing a flip through of my 2019 October daily album. This is an album concept that I first learned about from Paige Evans, who does an October occasionally album, and I wanted to combine that with the idea of December daily in order to document our very favorite season of the year, which is the fall, and everything to do with the fall. So everything from your typical going to apple orchards type of fall activities all the way through the Halloween holiday season. So let's go ahead and get this guy opened up. So this is a 4x4 album that I purchased off of Amazon, and it is from Heidi Swapp. I don't believe these are available anymore, but if I can find them, I will link it in the description box down below. I have the spine stamped with October in 2019, and this, in case you missed the flip through of my earlier album, this is my second October daily album. I will link the first one up at the eye for you in case you want to go check that one out too. So because this one is so chunky, I do have a ribbon around the outside of it. I can just slip that off. It's pretty easy, and then we can move on to the inside. So for this album, you are going to see a lot of different products from Crate Paper, from the Hey Pumpkin line. I also have some Pebbles in here. I don't remember the exact name of the collection. I want to say it was called Too Spooky, or maybe it'll come to me as I'm going through this. But then I also have a few collections that I had purchased from the digital press. One from Little Lamb Paper Company and one from Rachel Strong. I'm probably saying her name wrong, but I will link both collections down in the description box for you in case you're interested in checking either one of them out. They are digital products, which is cool because you can alter them to fit any size that you're working in. So let's go ahead and get started. This first page, this was a journaling card that was from Rachel's collection, I believe. And I super loved like the spooky tree here. I probably am going to use this again in my album this year because it goes really well with the products that I'm going to be using in 2020. In addition to this cool tree, I've got this October Stories chipboard piece, which is from an Allie Edwards Stories by the Month kit from October. And then I've got a white pumpkin and this little puffy pumpkin. I believe these were Crate Paper, both of them. And I just like to do this for my intro pages just to have some kind of like intro to October. So for this one, I did complete this album on a daily, I did a daily album here. But in the beginning, I wanted to just add in some additional pages about decorating our house. So the previous year was the very first year we decorated. And then this year, I actually went and got some different really cool decorations to make our living room look awesome. So I've got our mantle all set up here with some pumpkins inside the fireplace. I can't wait to pull this all out again this year and get it all set up. But I'm talking about decorating and how I love the way that the living room looks, that it's my favorite. On the back side, I've got a picture of our table settings here. And then just a few extra pictures. You can see our couch with some wall decor that I purchased, the mantle again, our table set, and then this really cute like wooden haunted house thing that my kids can play with. It's just it's a toy. Or basically it's just not a very breakable decoration, which is important when you have little kids in your house. So yeah, this is just like a prequel. Then we're going to start getting into the daily. And as you can see, this thing is like stuffed. This year I'm going to have to really work hard to keep the bulk down. So for this one, I had a wood veneer one, and I embossed it with gold, and it's not perfect, but it's good enough for me. So I embossed it with the gold. I added our tradition. And for this one, I'm talking about starting a new Halloween tradition, which is getting Halloween pajamas. I used the Crate Paper Haunted House here. I'm wondering if this is supposed to be, I think it is actually. I have two holes on this. There we go. So this is the Crate Paper Halloween house. I added one of those little buttons. I purchased a couple of sets of buttons from Walmart that were Halloween themed. And then what I would do is just cut off the button portion so I could add them as an embellishment into my album. So I've got this little pumpkin embellishment. Then on the back, I'm talking about day 2, which was this little house that we painted for our Advent that year. I created a countdown to Halloween Advent calendar that we hung up in our dining room. And every day Izzy would pull something out for us to complete together. So this was one of the things. It was to paint this little haunted house. So I've got a picture of her and some journaling about that. For day 3, we put together a Halloween puzzle for different holidays. So for Halloween and for Christmas, I love getting puzzles that we can work on throughout the season, putting them together. I'm a puzzle fan, so any excuse to get new puzzles and put them together, I'm all for it. So that is this one. We purchased this one from Target, and it's like a cat with a magic wand and a spell book. So super fun. This also was one of those, I think this was the Little Lamb Paper Company digital set. So super cute. Loved that one. Next, I've got a craft that Izzy and I did together. We actually this was a night of bowling for us. We are usually on a bowling league. This is the first year we're not doing it because of COVID, but I brought a couple of crafts to do that were Halloween themed with us to the bowling alley. So Izzy and I did those together, took a really fun selfie, and then I did some journaling about that over on the right side. One of the things I love to do is add texture into these albums in various ways. So for this one, I added this trim to the edge. I just stapled it on there with my tiny attacher. And I also really love to use washi on the inside just to add some pizzazz to these pocket pages. The next day, Izzy and I created some monster cookies. This was one, it was a pack that I had gotten from Target, and they gave you, like, you had the sugar cookie mix, and then you split it into 3 and made your sugar cookies orange or purple or green, and then we just added like eyes into them, and it was really fun. So this is us making those. Then I've got a picture of my mom, me, this is my sister and a friend, and Izzy. We are big into meal prepping, so we went to go meal prep for October at my mom's house, and she had Halloween aprons for all of us. So this is all of us in our Halloween aprons, and it was super cute. So I've got that and just a little bit of journaling about that day. The next day, we went to our local apple orchard here in our town, and I've got a picture of my parents with Izzy outside of the like the building where you can go in to buy all the stuff. So I've got a picture of them, or the market maybe is what I should call it. And then some pictures of us out around, like waiting in line to go get our donuts, and Izzy loving all the little tiny pumpkins. So that was fun. On the 7th, we put up our Halloween lights and added some pumpkins onto our porch. So I've got some pictures of the pumpkins, and then Aaron and Izzy working together to put up the lights, and then a picture of our house when it was dark. This, I believe, was a word art or a stamp set. It was something that I printed on vellum. I used this little pumpkin sticker as the point of my exclamation point and printed it. I love printing things like this on vellum where you can see through to the next page. I just think it looks super cool and adds like a little bit of something to these albums. This is a picture of Izzy and I. We actually booed our neighbors. If you don't know what booing is, it's basically you get some goodies, like it could be candies, it could be a bottle of wine, it could be like a craft or toys or something, and you put it in a little bag and you leave it on their porch with a sign that says you've been booed and instructions to then go and boo somebody else. So it's just a really fun way to do an act of kindness, but to do it in a Halloween kind of spirit. So this right here is an outside the pocket photo. I forget the exact dimensions. I'll have to measure that for this year. And I adhered the 2 pictures right along these 3 edges so it could be turned into a pocket. So inside the pocket, I've got these 2 cards. So one that's just kind of decorative with my number 8, and then this one is the candy invoice, which I used in my last year's album too, but that's totally fine. And talking about booing our friends, and then on the back side I have some pictures of us. This is what we left on their porch, and then Izzy actually leaving it on their porch for them. So those just tuck right in between the two layers of photo here. So then when I turn it, you can see the other large photo. This is Izzy and I doing another craft. So we've got these little bats that we made. She really had a good time with it. They were super cute. And just talking about making crafts that day. The next day we played a board game, one of my favorite Halloween season board games called Shadows in the Forest. So this is a game that is a children's game, but you know, adults play it too. And the cool thing about it is that you play it in the dark. So one person or one team plays as these little critters that hide behind 3D like cardboard trees. So you hide behind the trees, and one person plays as a lantern. So you turn off all the lights, and the idea is when the lantern sees one of the critters, that critter is out of the game essentially. And so it's who can win by either not being seen or by seeing all the critters. So that is what we played, and I'm just talking about playing that, and Izzy and Aaron won. They beat me. We had a good time. For the next one, so for day 11, I've got a picture of Izzy and I and a picture of Jonah and I using the like vampire devil Snapchat filter. And this is one of my favorite pictures of all time. I think it is just so cool. I love her face. It's so cool. So this was my Halloween, like, what do I say, like screen cover on my phone, or what is my wallpaper on my phone for the whole month of October, and I just loved it. So we're going to have to see if we can do something like that again. The next day, my sister-in-law came home in October to actually get married. So she and her husband actually had already gotten married. They were just coming home to do like a reception and a small ceremony and to do something on a little bit of a bigger scale with their family here in Michigan. So we went to a hotel and all got ready as a bunch of girls. So Izzy and I brought a craft to complete. We actually did this exact same one the previous year. But if you go to the craft stores in the first couple of days after Halloween, everything is ridiculously on sale. So I picked up a whole bunch of crafts that year to then do the following year. And this was just one of them that we did again. So that is what this is all about, was creating this little house while the girls were getting ready for my sister-in-law's wedding. The next day we went and saw the new Addams Family movie. So I have this card that says creepy, kooky, mysterious, spooky, altogether ooky, which is, you know, part of the song. And then I used this journaling card from Allie Edwards. It was from the Watch Story Kit, and just gave my review of the movie, what we thought about it. We actually loved it. We took both kids to the movie theater to go see it, which if you ever take a baby or a toddler to the movies, you know that it is like the most work in the world, but we had a great time and we all super loved it. So I've got a picture of the movie and our review. For day 14, we went and did our annual corn maze. So this is all of us out at the corn maze and just talking about it a little bit here. And then I've got some additional pictures, Izzy and Aaron finding like the spooky characters out in the corn maze. And then the group of us just walking down the aisles, me carrying Jonah. There's our donuts and cider, the two of them. We actually took a lot of pictures this day, and anytime you're outside like this, the pictures are awesome, right? So I've got a picture of Izzy and the pumpkin. This was an older wood veneer. I don't know where it came from. Maybe Michael's, maybe Joann's, but it says pumpkins on it. And then I used some wood veneer pieces from Color Cast Designs. I think those are pretty much all throughout these pages. Then this right here, this orange and black pocket that you see, is actually a treat bag that I took and I cut portions of it off to like make it into this 4x4 pocket that didn't have as much bulk as if I would have just like clipped in the whole thing. So the picture here I did as a pocket, so you can pull out a tag and read the journaling about what we were doing, about the corn maze and going to the apple orchard. And then inside of this little booklet is a mini booklet. So I've got this ticket from the actual event itself. I think it's fun because every year they change the things that you have to go find. So that reminds us what we had to go find that year. And then this is just a tiny flip book that I made with additional pictures. So there's Erin and Izzy with the corn maze behind them. Izzy eating her apple pieces with caramel on them. And then I've got more pictures from the day of all of us. I think that is it. Yes. So that was really fun. I just made 4x4 pages, hole punched them, and then just tied some twine around it in order to make the flip book work like that, which could also be a super cute way to do this entire album, would be to just do 4x4s like this and punch them and stick it on rings. So if you want a fun idea and can't find a 4x4 album, or you just want to give the size a try, that's a suggestion I have. Okay, so then we flip that over, and now we're on to day 15. This is the day that Izzy and I made some haunted gingerbread houses. So I've got her and her haunted gingerbread house, and then this is a cut file from Paige Evans that I cut out on my silhouette super tiny. So like this was, the original size is more of a 12x12 size, so you would have gotten a lot more detail from it, but I super loved it this really tiny way. I stuck it in here, added some journaling on the back, and called that a day. For day 16, we did another craft, just a boo hanger to put on Izzy's door. Day 17, we went to Target and did some costume shopping. I have a picture of Erin and Izzy with unicorn heads on, which we thought was hilarious, and took some pictures of that, and then just did a little bit of journaling. On day, 18, Izzy and I painted our nails black. So this is another one of those word art where it says something wicked this way comes, which I loved because black fingernails to me is very witchy and I like it. So this is a picture of my hand with my nails painted, which I need to do again. And then this is another one of those pockets so I can pull out my journaling to see that it's day 18. And there's a picture of both of our hands. So Izzy wanted some pink in there too, not just the black. Okay, so we'll stick that back in between the pages here and we will go. So this was a weekend where we decided to go up to a little area called Frankenmuth here in Michigan. It's not too far from us, so we typically go there a couple times a year. Frankenmuth is like a German town, and they had a festival going on. I think it was their Scarecrow Festival, so you could go around and see all the scarecrows. They had this little pumpkin patch area where we could take pictures, and my brother-in-law came with us, so he came and took pictures with us. I created a little pocket, so this is a 3x4 card that I turned into a pocket. Let me grab these guys out. Okay, we might be stuck here. There we go. So you can see that it's kind of like a candy corn, and what I did is I printed it twice and then just cut off the orange part so I could add that pocket right on there. And then this is just some additional pictures from the day of all of us out and about. So that was really fun. And then those just slip right back into that pocket, just like that. And then this is my journaling on the back, so you can see how all of that works. Next, I have a picture of Izzy who is trying on witches hats. So I have Best Witches, another word art piece, and then this like witches hat wood veneer, which was part of the same set that the pumpkins word came in. I don't remember where that was from, but I've got a picture of Izzy trying on a hat that my sister had at her house. And then what I did here is I made this pull out. And the reason is that there is journaling on the back side for another page. So for this one, I just wanted to add some decoration parts, and then it slides in and out, but it does have a stopper so that it won't come, like it can't come all the way out. When we flip it, this was one of our book club meetings, and we read The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina and all dressed up like witches and had like this whole like setup. So this is where I've got my book review, is the journaling here for that graphic novel, which we all super loved. And then on the back, I've got some more pictures of the goodies and the treats that we ate during that event. Then I've got for day 22 some more crafts that Izzy and I did. You can probably see that we love to do crafts throughout the season, and I typically try to do one a week. So for this book, I just made sure to document those crafts. So even throughout the month of October, doing things on a daily basis doesn't have to be like super big. Like this is just a little craft that we did. This is a day that we made bagels that were candy corn bagels. And all that I did was just use food coloring inside of white cream cheese in order to make them look orange and yellow and white. And we had a good time with that. So it's something just really simple, that didn't take a lot of work, and something I could just snap a picture of and talk about it in my October daily album. For day 24, we put together another one of our foam crafts. This one was like a Dracula, what is that car called that like carries coffins? I don't know what those are called, but that's what it is. It's one of those kinds of cars with Dracula inside of it. This right here that says Boo, this was originally a sticker that I had purchased, and I believe that it was for putting on a t-shirt. And I decided to just pick it up and to stick it inside of my album like a transparency, and I think it turned out really cool. So that is all that is. So I like to look for things like this when I'm preparing for my October album, and similar when I prepare for my December album, just things that I can find that I can add in for a little bit of added texture or design. Day 25 was Isabella's preschool party. So I have a picture of the four of us. So Aaron and I were both like farmers. And then Jonah was a pig and Isabella was a unicorn. So we said that we were farmers who had a pig and a unicorn, which was really fun. And then again, this is another one that pulls out with a pocket. I added some trim on the side. And for this one, I talked about the party. I have another little decorative picture, and then I've got some more pictures from the actual event. These were both games that they played at that party. I'm really sad that we're not going to be able to go to a preschool party this year because of everything being so crazy. But we're gonna figure out some other fun things that we can do this year since we can't do that. Here are some more pictures from the event. So doing a mummy wrap, and then just some additional pictures of Izzy and Aaron and Jonah all in costumes. Super fun. For day 26, we went to an event here in our town. A church holds, I'm trying to remember what it's called. I probably have it on my journaling. But our town holds this big like Halloween evening event a couple of nights before Halloween, and it's very kid friendly. So there's like games that you go play and pumpkin patches and like a pumpkin launch and a candy launch, like all kinds of really fun things, super kid friendly. So we went to that, and I've got pictures from it. And then I've got this treat bag over here that I just punched and put in, and inside are a bunch of different tags. So on the tags themselves, one of them has some journaling. And then when you flip them over, so this one is journaling on the front and on the back. And these ones just have some additional pictures from the event. So that is all that is. And the front is like this. I believe that these were all from the Little Lamb Paper Company digital set. Let me see if I said what this is called. Oh yeah, the Great Pumpkin Fest. That's what it's called. But it's really cute and fun. So this little baggie just holds all of those tags so we can pull them out and look at them when we want. Next, I talked about all of the movies that we watched throughout the month. So I've got some journaling here. This is again from the Allie Edwards Watch Story Kit. And then I created these little TVs using the same kit. I just made sure to size them so they would fit in a 2x2 pocket, and added the movies behind them and just colored them orange, green, purple, and black to be very, what do I want to say? Halloween-y. So this was what, day 27? Yes. And then for day 28, we watched The Wizard of Oz with Izzy, which isn't necessarily a Halloween movie, but it works in Halloween. This was my favorite movie when I was growing up, and so I added some pictures here about it, and then added some journaling about what it meant to watch that movie with my daughter for the first time. So that was really, really pretty cool. For day 29, this is probably my favorite page in this entire album. However, I wish I would have made it outside of the page protector, which I will show you why. So if you take day 29 out, This is full of a bunch of the pumpkin ephemera from the two collections, so from both Crate Paper and from Pebbles. And the way that I made this work is so that you could pull the pumpkins out of the patch, and there, whoops, are pictures on the back. So this is all about us carving our pumpkin for the year. Every single one of these comes out. There are just slits in this background paper where they slip into. So just pictures and pictures, and I believe this one is my journaling. Yep, there's my journaling. So this was a really fun one to put together. Like I said, I wish it was outside of the pocket, and I probably could have made the slits a little bit deeper, potentially, just so that they wouldn't have fallen if they were outside of the pocket. But having it inside of a page protector does protect all of the things from falling out. So there is that. So I guess it's not all bad. But that one is super cute. I love the way that it looks. I love the way that it's all super interactive. And then I'm just going to slip it, if I can, back into this page protector so I don't lose any of it. Okay, come on now. There we go. Okay, so there is my pumpkin patch. For day 30, we went to our town's like trunk or treat sort of thing. It's a daytime trick-or-treating that they do here in our town every year around the holidays or around Halloween. And we went with our neighbors. So I've got Isabella with her two friends from our neighborhood on the one side, and then on the other side I have this interactive flip page. So I've got a picture of Izzy here, and then it flips open to see another picture of her, some journaling from the event itself, and that flips open. And then I've got a picture of Izzy and Jonah in their costumes, and then a picture of Jonah and I in our costumes. So it's just this really fun kind of waterfall-ish flip. Then we've got day 31. So I've got a picture of Aaron, Izzy, and Jonah all under an umbrella. It rained and snowed on Halloween this year, which was awful. So we went around our neighborhood just a little bit, but then ended up coming home pretty early compared to most years. I've got some journaling on the right-hand side, and then a picture of the egg rolls from this year from our neighbors. So our neighbors every year make egg rolls. It's their family tradition, and we always go over to get some. So there's our plate of egg rolls for last year. The last few pages that I have here are celebrating Dia De Los Muertos. So this is a Mexican holiday, which is celebrating those or remembering those who we've lost. So the not Spanish version is Day of the Dead. So I've got this skull here that I got from Paige Evans. This is just a cut file, and I backed it with some like fall looking colors, instead of doing the bright colors, just because everything in here is kind of those muted colors. And then this one is literally just a decorative piece. Then I've got a quote in here that I printed on vellum that says, "Our dead are never dead to us until we have forgotten them." And then we enter into our Dia De Los Muertos celebration. So on the 1st of November is technically the first day of the holiday, and it's when you remember those who have passed as children. Since we do not have anybody that we know at this point that has passed as a child, we spend the 1st of November creating all of the goods that we will put on our ofrenda. So we always make the pan de muerto, which you can see right here. That's what we're making together. And then we also will make treats that our family members who have passed would have loved when they were here. And that is, for us, it's mostly as a way to remember them from another one of our senses, right? So there are the 5 senses, and smell and taste and all of those things can also help us remember the people who were important to us. And then on the 2nd is when we celebrate those, or for Dia de los Muertos, it's when you celebrate those who passed as adults. And so I have 2 stories in here, because we typically will talk about 2 of our family members who passed. One is my husband's cousin, and then one is my grandmother. So I put in the story that we told about them this year. What we love to do is to sit down with our kids, pull out the pictures, take them down off of our ofrenda, which is right here, and tell 1 or 2 stories about that person, about our loved one, so that our children can hopefully remember and have those stories passed on as well. This is just a close-up picture of our Pan de Muerto, and then the back side is a picture of Izzy and I with our masks on, standing right next to our ofrenda. So that is my October daily from 2019. It is a beast. It is extremely full, but you know what? It is extremely full of a lot of really great memories. And so I'm super happy to have this album to remember our last year's season. So coming up this month, now that I have flipped through both of the October albums that I have created, I am going to be working on getting set up for my 2020 October daily album. So my plan is to show you guys my haul, my supplies that I'm going to be using this year. That will likely be the next video in this series. And then I'll also talk to you guys about what my plans are for the month of October in case you are interested in doing this project and would like some additional ideas on things that you can document and do to help celebrate the season, especially this year when everything is different. So that will be coming up next. And then once we have those videos done, I'm going to be working on doing some prep pages. So getting some things prepped, working with my supplies, playing with things to try and get myself prepared for October. So I hope that you guys will join me in those videos. I am also planning to do some live craft with me videos. So I will definitely have more information about that for you guys with the next couple of videos that I record about October. I hope that you guys enjoyed this flip through. If you did, I would love a thumbs up down below, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button while you're there so you can see all of my future crafty videos. If you guys are documenting October this year, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to follow along with your project as well. And if you have any questions about what this project is or any of the supplies I used, definitely let me know that down there as well. Until next time, I hope you guys all have a fantastic day, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye now.